This is Top Accolade African News Updates. I am Soibifa Jackridge. Uganda'S Constitutional Court is hearing a case challenging the anti-homosexuality law that came into effect in May. It imposes severe punishment on those convicted of same-sex acts, including the death penalty for some crimes. The law is being challenged by a group of both individuals and human rights organizations who argue it violates constitutional rights and freedom. The law has been called many times draconian, inhumane, and a violation of universal human rights. Those bringing today's case argue that the parliamentary committee responsible did not take enough time to scrutinize it and did not allow any meaningful public participation. They want the law, which has triggered Western sanctions against Uganda, to be declared unconstitutional and annulled. They argue it violates a spectrum of constitutional rights and freedoms, including the right of equality and non-discrimination, the right to dignity and privacy, and the right to freedom of expression and association. Under the law, what is termed aggravated homosexuality is punishable with a death sentence. Campaigns for the Democratic Republic of Congo's election are due to end today, 2 days before voters go to the polls. Insecurity, health, and education are among key issues that have dominated campaigns as the country gears up for the votes. It is unclear whether the elections will take place in the restive east, where dozens of armed groups are active. The government is using aircraft from the Congolese army, Egyptian army, and the UN peacekeeping force, MONUSCO, to deploy the remaining election materials. Government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya said on Sunday more than a dozen candidates, including incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi, Nobel laureate Denis Kwege, and prominent opposition leader Moise Katumbi, have been cleared to vote for the presidency. Human Rights Watch has raised alarm over election-related violence ahead of the votes. 2 parliamentary candidates were killed by unknown gunmen on Sunday as they campaigned for votes. Somali forces have taken over the security of the presidential palace and the federal parliament building in the capital, Mogadishu, from the African Union mission in the country after 16 years. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud praised the national army for taking over the security responsibility of the country's leaders, saying that the move showed the recovery of the capacity and power of the country's military. The state-owned Sona news agency reported. The takeover comes as Somali forces begin to assume responsibilities for the country's security as ATMIS troops, who have been fighting al-Shabaab and protecting key government installations since 2007, gradually withdraw. At least 17,000 AU peacekeepers are expected to exit the Horn of Africa nation by the end of next year. Kenyan President William Ruto says he rejected a demand to arrest politicians from the Democratic Republic of Congo who launched an alliance with rebels in Nairobi on Friday. It was then that the Colonel Nanga, the former head of the Republic Congo's electoral body, announced in a hotel in the Kenyan capital that he was creating a political military alliance with M23 rebels and other armed groups with the aim of restoring peace. Mr. Nanga was flanked by M23 leader Bertrand Bisimwa. The move sparked an angry response from the Congolese government, who warned Kenya of consequences for hosting him. President Ruto, who spoke to Kenyan journalists in an interview on Sunday, said he refused to heed the request to arrest the Democratic Republic Congo politicians, terming it undemocratic. Kenya is a democracy. We cannot arrest anybody who has issued a statement. We do not arrest people for making statements. We arrest criminals, Mr. Ruto added. On Saturday, the Congolese government summoned the Kenyan ambassador in Kinshasa and also recalled its ambassador to Nairobi for consultation. In response, Mr. Ruto said it was Democratic Republic Congo's right to do so. But I cannot arrest anybody merely because they issued a statement. That is undemocratic, and that is not how Kenya is. Kenya's foreign ministry earlier said it strongly deassociates from Democratic Republic Congo internal affairs, adding that it had begun investigating the matter. Democratic Republic Congo is gearing up for elections on Wednesday, with worsening insecurity in the eastern region, where more than 100 armed groups, including M23, operates. That is the size of Top Accolade African News Updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Monday.